What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank you guys so much for joining me on today. Today I am doing my review on Powebook Ghost Season 4, Episode 7. Now I will have to say I did not think that this episode was nearly as good as the previous episode, and I think that's mainly because this whole Agent Carter thing is really getting on my nerves, and they are doing a great job of making Agent Carter the villain of this show because I do not like him at all. But let's get into this review. So we start out with Diana. She's in the hospital. We find out that unfortunately Diana has lost her baby due to this dirty cop, this dirty female cop who, and I forgot her name. I'm sorry about that, but this dirty cop who clearly stumped her baby out. It's ridiculous, and I'm so sad for Diana. She is so heartbroken, and she's a little bit mad at Tariq. I'm not understanding her anger towards him necessarily. I don't know why she's mad at him. I mean, she says, this was supposed to not happen because you were in the game. And I'm like, well, if you're in the game, well, this could definitely happen to you, girl. So I don't know why she's so upset at him. But anyways, Monet ends up coming to the hospital and she tells Tariq, you know what, I'll handle this thing. Tariq is like, no, I'm going to handle it. So Monet goes to visit Diana in the hospital, and Diana just wants to go home. Kane shows up, and Monet's like, you know what, get up out of here. We don't want you anywhere near this. And Kane says, when she F's this up, Diana, when Monet F's this up, Diana, just call me or whatever. So there's still tension between Monet and Kane, and there will always be tension between Monet and Kane. It's so interesting to me that Monet only likes Drew. That's so interesting to me, and I do kind of like it in a way, of course, because of the whole gay factor. But the fact that I love the fact, however, I will have to say this, that Monet is so much nicer to Diana. Monet is so much kinder to Diana. She's not treating Diana the way that she was treating her the first 3 seasons. So that's at least refreshing to see, but she still don't see it for Kane. Anyways, so Agent Carter is showing Rashad Tate, our favorite congressman. He is showing him his brother's body. Uh, and it's so interesting to me that when the scene first opens up, we see Agent Carter in the background behind the glass when Rashad Tate is looking down on his brother, and it is so sad to see. But it's clear that Rashad Tate is upset about his brother's death, and of course I would be too. So there's that, and so it seems as though there are a lot of people that are trying to get that are trying to get to this female cop who stumped out Diana. And it is so interesting to see. And I'm thinking throughout this episode, okay, she is not going to last to the end of this episode. Tariq is trying to get to her. Monet is trying to get to her. We see Monet. She meets up with Agent Carter, and she tells him what happened to Diana. And she's like, you don't have any permission to do anything to my partner. You forgot how this works. I come into your house and I set the boundaries, I set the rules, I set the tone. You ain't got nothing to do with any decisions that are being made here, ma'am. And so I do like the dynamic between Agent Carter and Monet, because, of course, as I believe I said in my previous review, I love to see Monet shook. I love to see Monet a little bit flustered here. You know what I'm saying? Because her character is supposed to be this boss woman, who has everything under control, who has everything all tied up. So it's great to see that. But Agent Carter is trying to save his partner's life here, and I guess I can respect that. I guess I can respect that. We're a little all over the place here, because I'm just doing this based off of my memory. But anyway, so Norma. She's meeting up with Method Man. She's trying to salvage what it is that has been kind of effed up by Kane, you know what I'm saying? Because it technically is his fault that her whole paperwork with the government, trying to get her U.S. citizenship as well as some other things, have been foiled because of the because of the man that was going to get that all done for her. Unfortunately, his life was taken in the previous episode. And so she's meeting up with Method Man, and Method Man is like, well, if you have someone else, have your business on with their name on it, an American, then maybe we might be able to work this thing out. And her and Method Man go and do. And then Kane comes into the house, and he's like, you making house calls now, attorney Davis? So Kane could definitely see what's going on between Norma and Method Man Davis's character. So I love to see Kane being a little bit jealous, even though it seems like he's trying to get back with Effie, which is a little bit muddy. Kane seems like, to me, in this episode, Kane doesn't know what he wants. He's Unless he is using Effie to get done what he needs to get done with Norma. That would make a whole lot of sense. And so Braden is back. Tariq comes into the room, and Braden, he's fresh off of his coke binge, or whatever the case might be. And Tariq is coming in to get his gun because he got to go get this. He got to go get this police girl who done taken his baby's life. So Braden is like, you gotta think about this thing. You don't want to go killing a cop. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to do that all willy nilly because we know the heat is going to be on if you end up taking a cop's life. So the band member, you guys remember that they're selling their drugs at this whole concert thing that they have going on across different campuses with this three-person group, including Brashandria, Braden's girlfriend, or I don't know, she's actually his girlfriend, but Braden's love interest, as well as a male character, and that male character comes into the room with Braden and Tariq, and tells them that their deal is off. He knows that they're selling drugs at their performances, and he doesn't know if they're fans or if they're just fiends. And I thought that was a great line for him. Tariq roughs them up a little bit, and Braden separates them, and the man, excuse me, the man The ends up leaving the room. So Kane and Effie end up coming in to Braden's room because Norman wants to know who tipped off the Russians. And is it just me, or do I just not remember who tipped off the Russians? I don't. I guess I have to watch episode 6 again to see exactly who tipped off the Russians. I have to do better with that. But anyways, so what they need, what Effie needs, is to get into the database of the police force, so that they can see exactly what the police knew and how is it that they were able to get the drop on the Russians. And so they need Braden, and they need Braden because they need a white face to be able to break into the house, or not break into the house, but to get into the house of one of the police officers. And so when they get to the house, the police officer's wife comes to the door, and they do their little scheme. You know what I'm saying? Effie gets in. She gets to. They beat Braden up a little bit. I don't know if they actually did that. It seems like they did. It seems like Effie's the one that did it because the wife ended up saying that she saw some blood on Effie's chest. So I'm assuming that Effie's the one that kind of gave Braden a few licks or whatever. And so while she's getting Braden together, the wife, Effie goes back to the bedroom, and she's pulling up the files, and she's downloading the files. And when it seems like she's not going to have enough time, Kane comes to the door, and introduces himself as Officer Ramirez. If you guys remember, Officer Ramirez is the officer who was having an affair with Monet in the first season, and who Kane actually took the life of in the first season as well. So I'm assuming that he must have his badge or something of that nature. And so that's why he used Officer Ramirez's name in that instance. And so they're able to get the files, and they're able to get the lowdown on every single one of the cops that are working with Agent Carter. And so I thought that was a good thing to see. Also, Drew is still locked up. Drew is still locked up. As y'all know, Drew is my favorite character on this show, simply because he is a gay man, and I can make that decision because that's me. But anyways, he's talking to this other inmate in there. He's looking for for his target. I can't remember exactly what his name was, but he's looking for his target. And the man is shook because this man is clearly his name rings bells in this prison yard, and he doesn't want to get killed for talking to Drew because he knows that there's something going on with Drew, and Drew's a marked man in that prison apparently, according to this man that Drew is supposed to be killing. And so, anyways, the guy. Who Drew is supposed to kill, he comes up to Drew, and is like, I'm gonna kill both of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And then he, gives a little kiss gesture. That thing got me, y'all. It definitely got me. I rewound it a couple of times. I said, "Ooh, that's cute. I wouldn't mind seeing Drew and this man together." But of course, that's not going to be happening because Drew is going to be ended up taking him out. So apparently, after the man walks away from threatening Drew, Drew looks to the left and he catches the eye of one of the correctional officers, and the correctional officer gives him a head nod. So apparently, Drew is safe in this prison, which I am so happy for, because one of the guys that was with the man that Drew is supposed to be killing pulled out a shank from behind him, and so I was really getting nervous that Drew might get shanked. But thankfully, the police officers broke that up before that even happened. So thank the Lord that Drew is safe. So Drew gets this note from one of the correctional officers telling him the cell where his target is. And so Drew comes up behind him, chokes him out, and strangles the man to death. And so that was a much better kill than the one that he did in episode 6, where he just covered that man's nose and mouth for him to end up dying. So there's that. But anyways, back to Diana. Diana is hell bent on getting this officer back. She is hell bent on taking this officer out. Now, Monet is trying to calm her down, let her know, you know what I'm saying? Mama's going to take care of it. Just take your pills. You will be all right. You're still recovering. But Diana is not falling for it. She calls Tariq, lets him know what's going on. All that good stuff. She calls Drew. Drew is like, I'll handle it. I'll take care of it. She's like, how you gonna handle it when you in jail, nigga? So I thought the lead up to Diana taking this officer out is amazing because we have never seen Diana take someone's life in this whole ghost episode, or I'm sorry, on this whole ghost show. And so this is going to be Diana's first kill. And so Diana goes to the officer's house, and well, no, actually, before this happens, Tariq goes to his mom. And is it just me, or does it look like Tariq's sister has had an actress change? Now, a couple of people that I've seen do reactions and reviews for Powebook Ghost have been saying that the previous actress that was playing Yaz wasn't necessarily the best actress. And it looks like Yaz, from the looks of it, just visually, it looks like Yaz has aged about 5 or 10 years, because not the 10 years, but at least 5 years, because this Yaz looks considerably taller than the previous Yaz. The previous Yaz looked like she might have been about 9 or 10, where this Yaz in this particular episode looks like she's at least 11 or 12 years old, like considerably older. But anyways, that's just something that I noticed. And so Tariq ends up telling Tasha that Diana was pregnant with his child, and she, tells her what happened with the police officer stomping her stomach out and taking their baby's life. And so Tasha tries to give him some wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Revenge, is not the way that is not. In this game, you have to be strategic about the way that you go about your revenge plots. We all know that in the Power universe, revenge, especially with Tommy's gonna take his revenge out immediately. He's gonna take care of it just like that. And so Tasha tells him, "You got to be smart about this." You know what I'm saying? And you got to do what's best for you. So, anyways, Diana goes to the officer's place, to her home. And I'm like, is she gonna do it? Is she gonna? All this whole time, I'm not believing that Diana's going to end up pulling this off. So she goes into the woman's house. She sneaks into the woman's house without her knowing, and she's pointing the gun at her. And the officer, of course, is very smart. She's able to wrestle the gun away from Diana. There's a really, really good fight scene between the two. I thought that was well choreographed and it was well acted. And eventually, Diana's able to get the police officer down. She grabs a frying pan because the police police officer has kicked the gun away. So I guess Diana doesn't know where the gun is. And so Diana takes a frying pan and she smashes the woman's skull in. And so the woman, the police officer, is now dead. I think her name was Felicia or something of that nature. So Diana ends up calling Tariq to get some help with this kid, and also after she takes the life of the female officer, she sees toys in the hallway, so she sees that the woman has a child, and so when Tariq gets to the home, she realizes that there's a child still in the home. So Diana ends up finding out what happened. Drew ends up finding out what happens, and when Drew gets out of jail, Carter's there waiting for him, and he gives Drew his condolences for his sister losing her child, and he tells him that he needs a truce from Drew, that there are going to be no issues moving forward, he's saying all this while Drew is getting all these text messages from Monet, telling him exactly what happened, and so. Tariq comes to the home with Diana. He's trying to help her out a little bit, and she needs him to help her with not only the child that's there, but to also clean up the body. Monet ends up coming to the home. Then Drew ends up walking in, and Carter is right behind him. And Carter is coming in, guns ablazing, and he sees that his partner is now dead. He has all of them at gunpoint. And he's saying, well, I'll be able to get rid of this body and kind of forgive y'all for killing my partner if you get me information on Norma. And the reason why he knows about Norma is because Drew dropped the dime on whose drugs they were actually taking from the Russians. And so Drew gave the family up. I see this as a good thing because I feel as though it gives them leverage in a way against Carter, because they've got the inside track. And I feel as though Drew might have a hand in Agent Carter being offed this season, because I'm sure there are only 2 episodes left, unfortunately. Or are there two? Eight? No, 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 no. It seems like there might be 3 episodes left. I don't know exactly how many episodes are left because I believe there are 10 episodes in this season, if I'm not mistaken. But when I was watching the previews, it was saying that there was 2 episodes left. Anyways, so we see in the previews that Carter is working very closely with Drew. Of course, it would be my dream if Drew and Carter did something, but of course that I don't think that's going to be happening because, especially with there being only 2 or 3 episodes left, it's going to be hard to develop something between the two. So I know that's not going to happen. But anyways, that's just me, expressing my fantasies out loud. But when Carter is walking out of the home, he pulls Tariq close and tells him, "Welcome to the team." So I thought this was a pretty good episode. We'll see what happens in the next episode. I feel as though I don't know how Rashad Tate is going to find out that Carter's the one that killed his brother. I hope he does. I hope he does, because if Tate takes out Carter, I believe that will be Tate's first kill in this Power universe. And that will be great to see, and it will be great revenge to see that happening. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know who's going to take out Agent Carter. And I don't know if Norma's going to make it to the end of this episode. To the end of this series, rather. And I don't know if Monet's going to make it to the end of this series. So there's going to be, I believe, at least 3 major deaths by the end of this season. I know for sure Carter's going to be one of them. Absolutely sure that Carter's going to be one of them. I'm thinking Monet might be another. And I'm assuming Kane or Drew might be the third. But I'm pretty sure that Carter and Monet are going to be going by the end of this series. So we'll see what happens. So thank you guys for joining me for this review. Join me next week for the review of episode 8. Love you guys for watching. See you guys later.